Did you know that many old, seemingly broken modems can still work perfectly fine as long as the circuit board inside is still functional? In this video, I'll show you how to make practical use of an old, damaged modem in a simple and effective way. If you find this topic helpful, don't forget to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss similar useful content in the future. As I mentioned earlier, while the standard Ethernet port is no longer usable, the circuit board inside is still working perfectly fine. That's why I need to add a few extra wires directly to the board, making it easier to move on to the next step using solder connections. And just in case anyone's wondering, what I'm holding in my left hand here is a roll of solder wire. This type of solder is commonly used in electronics repair, helping the solder joint stick better, conduct electricity reliably, and look much cleaner overall. After adding 2 extra wires to the modem circuit board, I'll close the modem casing and get it ready for the next assembly steps. With these 2 wire ends, I'll add a recessed power plug to complete part of the connection setup. In my hand right now is a recessed power plug. This type of plug is commonly used when you need a clean internal installation, providing a more secure, safer connection without taking up too much space. After finishing the wiring, I'll secure the plug onto the modem cover using hot glue to keep everything neat and out of the way. The 2 signal receiving components on this old modem are basically just there for show now. They don't really serve any purpose anymore. If you already have a short Ethernet cable with the connectors properly crimped, it can completely replace the modem's damaged signal input. The method I'm using is quite simple, but the results are surprisingly good. So this is a part you'll want to pay close attention to. I'll secure this round pin onto the Ethernet cable to make use of it as a signal receiver. Don't worry, using electrical tape to hold it in place won't interfere with or block the signal in any way. However, that doesn't mean we should just remove and throw away the modem's original signal receiver, right? So I decided to keep it and make a few adjustments to improve the overall look. Not many people are familiar with this coaxial cable I'm holding anymore, since it's not nearly as common as it used to be. Back in the day, this type of cable was widely used for TV signals, antennas, and various communication devices, thanks to its good noise resistance and stable signal transmission. Even though it has largely been replaced by newer standards, coaxial cable can still be surprisingly useful in certain situations. And with this cable end, I'm connecting it to a male power plug, so it can be linked directly to the modem. I probably don't need to say much about this male power plug. It's something we're all very familiar with by now. With this remaining cable end, I'll add a suitable connector to make the connection to the TV easier and more convenient. The connectors I mentioned earlier are a straight F connector and a 90-degree F connector. Both of these are commonly used with coaxial cable systems, especially when connecting to TVs or signal-receiving devices. The straight F connector works best when there's enough space, offering a quick, solid, and straightforward connection. On the other hand, the 90-degree F connector becomes extremely useful in tight spaces behind equipment, preventing the cable from bending too sharply, reducing stress on the connector, and keeping the setup much cleaner overall. By having both types available, you gain a lot more flexibility during installation, allowing you to choose the most practical option depending on the layout and available space. All right, everything's set. Let's test it and see how it works. It only takes a few seconds for the connection to stabilize. It looks good so far, but to be sure it's truly stable, we'll wait a bit longer and see. So far, there haven't been any issues at all, so I decided to unplug the connection and plug it back in to see what happens. And now, we've almost reached the end of this video. Starting from an old, damaged modem, something that most people would probably throw away or leave sitting in a corner, we've managed to reuse it, modify it, and give a second chance to do its job again. This may not be the most perfect solution, and it's certainly not the fastest one. But what really matters is that it works, the signal is stable, and it meets real practical needs. More importantly, it shows that many things we consider useless still have potential, as long as we're willing to take a closer look and think a little differently. For me, DIY isn't just about fixing or assembling things. It's about experimenting, making mistakes, correcting them, and learning along the way. Some projects work perfectly on the first try, while others take a few attempts before everything comes together. And that process is exactly what makes DIY so enjoyable. If you're still watching at this point, chances are you enjoy tinkering, reusing, and exploring new ideas as well. If this video gave you an idea, a small inspiration, or even just a different way of looking at old electronics, then it has already done its job. If you found this content useful, don't forget to give a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss future DIY projects like this one. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you again in the next video.